Okay, so for this tutorial, I want to talk about keyframing and motion. So this is how we move stuff around and make footage fit our needs. For an interview, maybe we want to cut into Sartak, who's asking the question right now, so we can do this. Oh, hold on. Make sure you're selecting this, whatever footage you want to modify. Go to the properties. You can transform it like this. Yeah, so see how it zoomed in on him right now? Yeah, or you can just reset it. Alternatively, you can do this in the effects controls, which might be a little bit easier because you can click and drag it around. But yeah, I'll just reset this for now. So that's how we can say we configure things like movement and size. And what you'll notice though is, let's say I want it to be like this at first, and let's just say I want it to like zoom in here. How do I make it so that there is a zoom in, right? Like it changes. This is something called a keyframe that we then have to do. So you can keyframe from here. I'll just do it from effect controls because I think this is a more intuitive way to do it. I'll drag this out so you can see what I'm doing here. So let's say at the start, it looks like this, right? And I press this clock icon, which is creating a keyframe. And a keyframe is basically the position at this point in the footage. Let's say by here, I want to zoom in on Sartuk at 150. So there's a drastic difference here. And all I've done, right, and I'm pressing plus in this little part so you can see both my keyframes, right? You see the first one over here, the second one over here. So remember, all I did was I went to the beginning and I set it to 100, and then I went here and I set it to 150. Premiere Pro automatically creates a zooming effect and automatically interprets all the middle values that you have to do in a sort of linear way. If you open this up, like if you're a math geek, you can look at the way that it does this stuff. This is a little bit more advanced, but if you want it to have a different effect rather than just one linear zoom, you can do ease in and ease out, and then it'll ramp up the speed. You can also do stuff like auto Bezier. Again, this is more of like a math nerd thing. So you can look at the velocity. It's very slow, and then it like curves in. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool if you want to mess around with that. Okay. Those are the very basics of it. One more thing that I'm just going to talk about here, this is going to be a pretty quick tutorial, is what this blue dot thing is. So what this blue dot thing does is it determines what the quote-unquote center of your footage is. So let me go here, and if I continue zooming in, see how I'm just zooming into where this dot is? Like, that's zooming in where the footage is, right? So sometimes this can be a little troublesome. So let's say like the dot was here, then I'm zooming into here, right? Which isn't where I want to zoom in necessarily. So I can maybe, let's say I want to zoom into Sartek here, then it'll be configured like this, right? So now it's going to zoom into Sartek. This is pretty useful, and it's configured by the anchor point. And if we press reset, see the anchor point goes back to the beginning, but it also messes with our position a little bit because your position is calculated off your anchor point. So just reset your position, your scale will be fine. But yeah, if you want to mess around with this, see how as I'm dragging the anchor point around, the position and anchor point values are also changing. That's why. Yeah, but we can just reset both of them. Yeah, there we go. Finally, something that's useful is this crop configuration. So for example, if I'm making an interview of, like, if I wanted to show this on like Instagram Reels, right, and I have like Shoykot sitting on top of Sartak like I did for Akira's interview with Latifa Simon, what I could do is, the first thing I want to do is I need multiple footage layers. So right now, see how if I select this, both of them get selected. You can just unlink this. One sec. Yeah, just right click it, go to unlink, and now I can just select the footage, right? So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to drag it to the second layer because by default it pastes in the first layer. Yeah, okay. Just copy and paste it, move it to a different layer, and it'll paste in a different layer. You guys can figure that one out. And now we have two layers. And I'm going to do something drastic with this one. I'll make this one like 500%, just so it's really obvious, right? This bottom layer is 500%, so when I close it, it's like all the way zoomed in. just so you can tell that I'm making changes to the top layer. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to tell because they're just identical footage files. So I just want to talk about what this crop does. It sounds like exactly what it does. If I want to crop the right, it'll start cropping from the right side of the border, crop from the bottom, it'll do that, crop from left, crop from top. Yeah, like very, very simple tool, but really, really useful. Yeah, I think that's mostly it for this effect controls tab.